Venture X from Capital One is the travel card for people always asking,
where next?
You earn 10x miles on hotels and rental cars, and 5x miles on flights booked through Capital One Travel, and 2x miles on everything else you buy with Venture X. Plus, receive premium travel benefits like access to over 1,300 airport lounges. The Venture X card from Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Dash in, wrap up, and save at the JCPenney Super Saturday Sale. This weekend, get Disney toys and dress up now up to 30% off. Shop last-minute stocking stuffers like Yes Please Diamonds, $21.99 each. Or save up to 50% at our holiday home sale, plus an extra 30% with coupon. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items 12/16 to 12/18. Disney and Yes Please jewelry excluded from coupons. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
And it listened to me. It walked out of the thicket. It turned around and looked at me.
They looked up, and in this tree, there was a monkey man. And the monkey man jumped down out of the tree and started running away.
And suddenly, they're right in front of the car. He slams on the brakes and manages to stop. And he's skidding because it's like quite, gravelly. And literally for about a second and a half, they just stood there because they don't know where to go. And you tell them panicking. They're like flipping, and their face is like twitching.
Welcome back to Bigfoot Society, a podcast where we focus on cryptids, the strange, and the unexplained of this world. If you've got a story or something weird to share, send an email over to me at bigfootsociety@gmail.com. And if you'd like to support this show, head on over to patreon.com/the Bigfoot Society. And now, on with the show. All right, Bigfoot Society, we've got the privilege of having one of my good friends on, Mr. Matt Fitzpatrick. How's it going, bud?
Going good, man. Good to talk to you.
Dude, I've been trying to figure out how to have you on this, how to get you on this for a while, and it just kind of worked out. So, Matt is a good buddy from over the years. So we've worked together. I've already talked to another one of my good buds, Andrew. You can listen to that podcast a while back. It's Andrew Peterson episode. But yeah, we kind of all chat about weird stuff in Iowa and cryptid stuff. And we always, we usually are able to hang out together if the stars align at the Van Meter Visitor Festival. Matt was a great help at the table this year. So if you were there, you probably met Matt. He was on the left side of the table helping to sell merch, and it was awesome. Yeah. So anything else the listeners need to know, or is that probably about it?
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Just
cool.
A bud.
Yeah, dude. Just a bud.
Cool guy.
Just a weird bud, dude. Oh, this is going to be pretty close to Andrew's episode, which is awesome. Did you know, do you remember, there was a guy that came up to the table at the festival and he was like really energetic and awesome. And his vibe was like super awesome. Very hyped. His name was Steve. So turns out he was like an LA actor type dude, like voice actor. Like he's been on, and all this is public on his IMDb. So like, I'm not like, creepazoid or anything like, but, he's been in like Bob's Burgers and stuff, which is pretty cool. No, and it was like in, Dr. Horrible's, remember that blog way back when there was the writer's strike?
Neil Patrick Harris and
and he was in an episode of Drunk History, I think, too. So I need to check that out. But yeah, which is like that's kind of the coolest thing. But Matt, I've never actually asked you, what is it like? What was the road that you took to get into weird stuff and like cryptids and all that stuff.
You know, you and Andrew were really the big, you know, because really I'm fairly new to all this. Yeah, it was really you and Andrew just talking about, you know, I was familiar with like Bigfoot and like Mothman and all that stuff. Like, you know, growing up, we watched a lot of like ghost shows and you know, watched the Mothman Prophecies movie and all that. But I never really like got into it, I guess, until you guys were talking about probably like Small Town Monsters or something.
Yeah.
And I was excited about their Mothman movie that was coming out at that time.
Oh yeah.
And I remember, I think it was you that told me, it was like, did you know that we have like a monster here in Iowa? I was like, there's a monster in Iowa?
I remember
that's
that
great.
conversation vividly. Yeah.
So that's how we got into the Van Meter Visitor, and now I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, that was back in the days of working at the fruit stand.
Yeah, back in the days. You, me, and Andrew, yeah.
Well, that's good that we were the ones that, you know, messed up your life and put you on that trajectory.
It worked out all right.
Yeah, it worked out good. Oh, man. And yeah, so it's been fun the last few years, like being at the festival, and like usually we're on the VIP tour, which is just a really, really fun time. Let's talk about the festival for a few minutes. How do you describe like the Van Meter Visitor Festival? Like, I'm just curious, like from your viewpoint, what is it that makes it cool?
It is just so much fun. I think what really brings it together is the community, but also just the story behind the visitor. It's almost cinematic. It's just 5 nights, and you got all these characters, and at the center of it, this cool monster, the flying bat-like creature with a laser face, and it's a lot of fun. It's just the whole community there is awesome, and just getting to know people there, and you talk to some cool people, some really weird people, it's an awesome community out there, and fun booths, and it's just a fun time. And that walking tour is incredible. Like, that makes it
really does. It really does. Yeah.
And no one tells the story like Chad Lewis. And
no one.
It's just an incredible time.
And I will say, like, there's people that do it justice, but like, it's like, you know, it's like you can make fried chicken really good. But Colonel Sanders made fried chicken. Like, it's hard to beat Colonel Sanders, you know, like there's like, he has like, it's the Chad, it's just the Chad Lewis, like the way he talks in the voice. And like, you know, if people don't know what we're talking about, you can find a few people have recorded the VIP tour, and you can like, you know, go along, but it's a little different than, you know, being there in person, of course. But this year was really funny because Van Meter Public High School was having their like homecoming game that weekend. And then it was like all of a sudden, you know, we're about to leave for the tour, and it's like Def Leppard blaring through the middle of downtown Van Meter, awesome. And like Motley Crue and stuff. It was great.
It was perfect. It was perfect.
My goodness. Oh yeah. And we had the vendors this year. We had a lot more podcasts, I noticed. Like, it was pretty good. Wisconsin Caps. We had Laura Cram with the Spooks and the Creeps, and I'm sorry for not remembering your whole podcast name, Devilry and stuff. Just put those keywords in the Google, and you'll find it. I'm terrible. She's a great co-admin in the Van Meter Visitor group, though.
She's great.
Appreciate you. So that was a few years ago that we, I want to, 2016, 2017, maybe, where we kind of all started, 3 of us started going down that weird road. And I mean, Bigfoot Society was totally born out of it. Again, listeners have heard the story. The Andrew Peterson episode, we go pretty in deep detail into that. So go ahead and listen to that. Check it out. But What other have you looked into any other weird stuff or noticed any other weird things or cryptid things about Iowa in the years past? You know, kind of when you start going down the road, you start to get drawn to stuff.
Yeah. So, like, it's interesting on the walking tour where Chad will talk about, you know, like more recent sightings that, you know, people claim to see, you know, like an Iowa dragon or, you know, things in that area. And there's been lots of talk of, it's hard to find any information about it, but there's supposedly like a Raccoon River monster right outside the city there, that's like half turtle, half something. There's not a whole lot about it, but
Yeah,
you hear
there's
about it
not.
every once in a while. But and we have, like, you know, famous we had like the Villisca Axe murders in the early 1900s.
Oh man.
Hear a lot about that. But like in the cryptid world, there's legends of right about the same time as the Visitor was the Skunk River Monster.
Oh yeah.
Kind of out by, I think, Oskaloosa, probably about 2 hours east of here. Skunk River Monster was, I'm pretty sure, was ruled a hoax or like a prank article, but it's still a fun story.
Oh yeah.
Just like a river creature, big reptilian animal that was eating all these guys, like a hog farmer, and he ate like 20 of his hogs or something.
Oh no.
So that one's fun. We also had we have the Lockridge Monster.
Yeah, dude, totally.
Which is kind of close to Oskaloosa. That's just outside of Oskaloosa, I think.
Yep.
That was more recent, though. I think that was in the 70s.
It is, yeah. It's one of the ones that Kevin Cook took the report for in the late 70s.
Yeah,
and it
that's
kind of
right.
became like a big deal in Iowa cryptid history, which is weird.
And for you listeners who haven't heard about Kevin Cook, some cool stories there. But yeah, so that one's fun. Kind of a Bigfoot-like creature, but like super carnivorous and violent.
And he didn't he like break into a farm? Like he was breaking into farms or the creature was breaking into farms and like eating all the animal or like tearing them apart.
Turkeys.
And yeah. Oh man.
Turkeys was the big one, I think. Like a guy was a turkey farmer and it was eating all his turkeys.
Yeah, I think it's not a super tall creature from if I remember right. And then I think the witness report was like it had like the face of a monkey, or it was a weird report.
Yeah.
But yeah. Iowa's got some weird stuff, dude. Have you ever been out to the Villisca House? I haven't.
No, I need to get out there sometime. You always hear stories of hauntings out there, and people will stay the night and hear crazy things, and there's all kind of weirdness out there.
I just remember the Ghost Adventures episode where like Zach Baggins is like, dude, if there's ghosts in here, make this axe come down on my face. I'm like, dude, why, Zach? Why would you even wish for like random earthquake to happen? Maybe and like it just like, and you just got axe in the face. He's a crazy dude. Have you heard any like weird urban legends about Iowa or like central Iowa? There's one I want to share with you and hear.
Sure, yeah, I'd like to hear it. Really, the only one I know of is like when I was younger, going through school, we'd take field trips to the Jordan House, which is in West Des Moines. The Jordans were a big like affluent family here. Kind of like we're in charge of a lot of city stuff. Anyway, there's a lot of history there with the Jordans, but their mansion is in West Des Moines. and serves as the base for the West Des Moines Historical Society.
Mm-hmm.
And we would take field trips there when I was a kid. And I remember at the time, they don't like to talk about it now, but at the time, even like the people that were giving us the tour were talking about, you know, hauntings in the Jordan house. And like, I remember specifically we were going through the house and there's this little chair in a corner. And they said, that's where the little girl in the house would sit. And so we can't move that chair because she's always sitting in that chair.
No
and
way,
it
you
creeps
were
us all out as
serious?
kids.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I was talking to a buddy at my current job who volunteered with the West Des Moines Historical Society, and I was asking him about it. And he was like, oh yeah, we don't talk about that stuff anymore. It was really funny though.
Like, because they're trying to distance themselves.
Yeah. They're like,
well,
no, we're a serious historical, you know, so that's fine. But
Dash in, wrap up, and save at the JCPenney Super Saturday Sale. This weekend, get Disney toys and dress up now up to 30% off. Shop last-minute stocking stuffers like Yes Please Diamonds, $21.99 each. Or save up to 50% at our holiday home sale, plus an extra 30% with coupon. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items 12/16 to 12/18. Disney and Yes Please jewelry excluded from coupons. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.
It was a fun story at the time. Creeped me out.
This episode of Bigfoot Society is putting the action right back where it belongs. The Jordan house is haunted beyond belief. Nah, not really, but maybe. Wink. I'll never tell.
Yeah, sure.
That's a weird story. Like, I wonder if they like put the chair away in like it's in a warehouse on the property or something, and
it's out in the shed now.
Yeah, some nights you can hear the chair just go like creaking, or like, you know.
Some say it's still creaking to this day.
To this day, pals. The weird thing I heard, and it's a mutual acquaintance of ours from the fruit stand. I'll just say she used to, I won't say anything else because I haven't asked her. But anyway, she was like, what she heard was, and I think her husband told her this, is that there was like an urban legend like story that used to get passed around, the Merle Hay Mall.
Okay. All right.
And you know how there's the old Sears in there?
Yes.
So supposedly, Sears is shut down, except for one old school Mac app, like old school Apple computer that had to be plugged in and had to be running. And it just had like this weird, like flashing, like text prompt, like, the computer from Lost.
Okay.
And if you unplugged it, something bad would happen. But supposedly she knew someone who actually like got access in there and then found the computer that was plugged in. I don't know. So that's
wild.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Lost. That came out like what? I don't know how. 10,
yeah,
15,
we were like,
was it 15, 20 years ago already? Yeah, we're old. Oh my goodness. But dude, the computer in the hatch, man, that's what it reminds me of. Good stuff there.
That's great. That's a cool story.
Yeah, it's at least a really good regional campfire story. You know what? Since I've got you here, let's talk about the visitor for a minute. So the cryptid specifically, and I'm really curious because I don't think I've ever asked you this one either, is what do you think the cryptid actually was? And there's no wrong answers unless you say shadow of a bat.
Yeah. We're looking at you, Expedition X.
Oh no. Gosh, Josh Gates just canceled Patreon right now. Just kidding.
Did you I meant to ask you, did you watch the William Shatner episode that
I didn't out? I haven't been able to get a hold of it yet. I did. Chad messaged me today and he was like, hey, did you get a chance to watch it? And then he tracked it down somehow. And he said that, they did put a little part of it in there, and they didn't say it was a shadow of a bat. So
there's
that's
that.
Cool.
No, I watched it briefly. I didn't watch the whole episode, just up to the point where they talked about the visitor. And it was a pretty brief blurb, but a few familiar faces.
Oh, really?
Yeah, some good like scans of the articles and stuff. Shatner's great, of course.
Are there actually sound clips where Shatner is talking about the Van Meter visitor?
Oh yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Oh man!
Obviously, he leaves the actual story up to Chad, but
well, as
because who else can tell it,
right?
But the episode's kind of it's focused on real life monsters, so it kind of goes through different things. There's a section where they talk about dragons and modern day dragons, and that's where they talk about the visitor.
Oh, nice.
But,
okay.
Pretty brief, but still worth it. I just bought it on iTunes.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Gotcha.
Not quite on Discovery Plus yet.
But, yeah, it'll be there in 2 years.
Yeah.
I love you, Discovery Plus.
But in terms of what I think it is, I'm naturally a skeptic on these kind of things. I'm fascinated with it, and I love the story. What I find interesting about this story is they saw something. I don't know what they saw, but these weren't, just random, people out there. They're like, these were the guys that ran the city, and you had a doctor, a banker, a bank manager, and like implement dealer. Like, these are the guys that ran the town. So I hesitate to say that they made it up, or they made it sound like they didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
I've heard some compelling arguments that it was like a turkey vulture or something like that, which I could see, I could understand. But I don't know. It's a fascinating story, and it's just unique. Like, there's nothing else like it, really. In terms of what I think it is, I really don't know. But yeah, I mean, they saw something.
There's something there.
They didn't make
it up. And it's reproducible night to night,
Yeah. So it's pretty wild. It's a good story. I like it.
It is. It's a great piece of Iowa, like, folklore, old school legend. The whole turkey vulture thing is weird, because it's like there's parts of it where it's like, okay, like I could see it, but then it's like light shining out of its face, where do you get and it's like it's like and
they all talked about it too. That's the thing. It's like it wasn't one person that mistaked something as a light coming from its head. They all saw it.
I know,
so,
right?
I don't know. It's very interesting.
Do you think there is hollow earth underneath Van Meter?
No, but but there at the time in Iowa, there were mines all over the place.
Yep.
So especially there, that's part of the story. But like even in Urbandale and Des Moines proper, there were mines everywhere here. So it wouldn't be unreasonable to say that, there's a network of mines under the city that maybe it was traveling through. But yeah, Hollow Earth, probably not.
Probably not.
That there, but,
sorry, guys.
But that's fine. People, that's fine. People got their own theories on that.
Exactly. And the cool thing is that you can think whatever you want, because there's no right or wrong answer, unless the shadow of a bat. That'd make a great t-shirt. So yeah, because there's actually multiple mines in Van Meter there's like at least two on the other side of the town. If you look it up in the whatever the technical term for mining report maps, and Map in Black, Jeff Craig, actually he put together some, if you go back a few years in his socials on Instagram, I think he put together some posts about that utilizing maps and Van Meter and stuff, which is
That's great.
Cool.
Love
So
that.
I need to look that up.
Yeah.
But is there a place, let's think weird Iowa. Is there a weird Iowa place or like legend place that you've always wanted to go to, but you haven't been able to go to yet? Or you know?
Yeah, I'd like to go to the Villisca House sometime. But I mean, there's so much out there. Even just like I've put together like a whole map of state parks in my phone, and like I just want to go check out the state parks even.
Dude.
But like you said with your I don't know how much I can say about it, but
I was about to jump in and be like, be ever so cautious, my friend.
But there are places I'd like to check out where maybe some cool stuff happens.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, no, we can definitely say that. Oh my goodness, this is like walking on eggshells, and I don't.
I
know. If you do research about Iowa, there are parks that are pretty rockin' and really big and full of. I mean, if you're looking for Bigfoot, there's places to look for them in Iowa that you wouldn't. And we'll just keep it there. And if you're smart, you know what I'm talking about. It doesn't take a rocket science to listen through my episodes and like piece to get. It's fine, whatever. But
subscribe to Patreon.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Put the plug there,
dude. Patreon is blowing up. We had like
it's great.
There's 4 new people in it this weekend, dude. People need to
listeners,
get in there.
If you're not on the Patreon, join the Patreon. What are you doing?
The Discord community.
Get on the Patreon.
It's pretty wild.
It's great.
Thank you, Matt. I appreciate that.
Sure thing.
Are you a reader at all? I've never asked you this. Are you a guy who reads a lot, or are you more like you like to watch stuff and research that way?
I prefer to watch stuff. I read a little bit. I have obviously read the whole Van Meter Visitor book.
Right.
You should check that out as well, listeners. But yeah, on your recommendation, there was David Weatherly's new book about Iowa cryptids. I haven't read the whole thing yet, kind of breezed through it a little bit, but yeah, I don't really read a whole lot of cryptid books. If I'm reading a book, it's probably about a movie. That's
no sweat.
Yeah.
Oh man, I can't remember if I told you this about the Weatherly book. It's near the end of it, but like the story he talks about from the Makokata Caves.
Oh yeah.
State Park area in like there's like a few people in the caves, and like all of a sudden like pretty much like this like pale crawler rake from like the Descent or Gollum type thing, like they're standing in the cave and then behind them like it just stands up out of nowhere, and I'm like, okay, cross out Makokata Caves, never ever going because
I mean, if recent news wasn't enough,
that's true. I
won't be going there for a while.
On a serious note, it was a really bad. You can look it up on Google if you want to, but it was a bad issue, or it was a bad crime in Makokata. Mm-hmm. But yeah, dude. Oh my goodness, rakes and crawlers. I really hope that is not real. Oh my God. I hope it's not real.
I'm good. I don't need to check that out.
Crazy stuff, dude. Eventually, I want to get to the point where like I can start taking crazy adventure trips around Iowa. That would be really fun.
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Dude,
it's gonna happen.
It's getting there. It's getting there soon, I think. Matt, it has been super fun chatting with you. He's talking, shooting the breeze about Iowa cryptids and stuff. It's been super, super fun. Are you a guy who likes to stick in the shadows, or do you put any info up? I know the answer to this question already. But...
Yeah, no, I'm a much more personal dude. Yep. All of my social media is private. if you know me or if I know you, I'll add you. But not that I post anything interesting anyway.
Right.
But yeah.
And that's the cool thing about Bigfoot Society is sometimes I talk to people that you will never get to talk to. So,
come find me at the next festival.
That's true. If you really want to say, Matt, you're awesome, you can always, he'll be around the next Van Meter Visitor Festivals. So there you go. Plug for the festival. Thanks so much for coming on, man. This has been a fun chat, and go Van Meter.
Yeah, always good to talk to you, man. Thanks.
You got it. Thank you for listening to Bigfoot Society. If you like the show, please review and rate it 5 stars on iTunes. Hit the share button and send this episode to all your friends on social media. Subscribe to Bigfoot Society wherever you listen to podcasts. It doesn't cost a thing. Pick up a Bigfoot Society shirt or enamel pin over on our Etsy page, and people will tell you all about their Bigfoot sightings when you wear it. At least that's what people tell us. That's what happens. If you'd like to become an official member of Bigfoot Society with a membership card, a community of like-minded individuals, and extra content each month, then please consider becoming a supporter of the podcast by going to www.patreon.com/The Bigfoot Society. Thanks for listening.
This holiday, whether you're making a Kroger Simple Truth turkey for 40 or a Murray's Baked Brie for 2, Kroger has fast, fresh delivery and free pickup, so you can make holiday meals that bring you all together to create memories that last. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Free pickup on orders of $35 or more. Restrictions may apply.
Choose from a great selection of digital coupons and use them up to 5 times in one transaction. Check our app for details. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Dash in, wrap up, and save at the JCPenney Super Saturday Sale. This weekend, get Disney toys and dress up now up to 30% off. Shop last-minute stocking stuffers like Yes Please Diamonds, $21.99 each. Or save up to 50% at our holiday home sale, plus an extra 30% with coupon. We got your holiday. JCPenney. Offers good on select items 12/16 to 12/18. Disney and Yes Please jewelry excluded from coupons. Exclusions apply. See store or jcp.com for details.